What if the world received a warning? A date whispered in a dream, foretelling a day of immense upheaval? Could a single prophecy, born from the visions of a humble artist, hold a key to our collective future? Why do some tremble in fear at such predictions, while others find a profound and unshakable peace? Stay with me, for the truth we are about to explore transcends a single date and points to an eternal hope. Welcome, cherished friends, to Pure Mind. Think, your sanctuary for finding divine clarity in a world of noise. Today, we embark on a profound spiritual journey, a prophetic update that will take us from the shores of Japan to the heart of our own faith. We will delve into a chilling prediction of a great tsunami, foretold for July 5, 2025. But this is not a journey into fear. It is an exploration of what it means to be a person of faith in uncertain times. We will explore how to interpret the signs around us, how to stand firm when the world is shaking, and how to place our ultimate trust in the Creator, who holds the oceans in His hands, and has promised a day of return to help and heal the soul of man. If you are ready to transform fear into faith, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Our journey begins now. Our story begins not with a scientist, but with a Japanese manga artist named Ryo Tatsuki. In a self-published comic titled The Future I Saw, she documented a series of vivid, predictive dreams she claimed to have recorded over many years. For a time, her work remained in relative obscurity, a curious footnote in the vast world of Japanese comics. But in 2011, everything changed. The devastating Tohoku earthquake and tsunami struck Japan, a national tragedy of immense proportions. Suddenly, people remembered Tatsuki's work. One of her dreams, they realized, had reportedly predicted that exact disaster, down to the very date. The world began to pay attention. This is a pattern we see throughout history, isn't it? The quiet voices, the dreamers, the prophets often dismissed until events proved their foresight. In the ancient scriptures, the prophet Jeremiah was scorned for his warnings to Jerusalem. Noah was mocked for building an ark on dry land. The spiritual life often requires us to listen to whispers that the rest of the world ignores. Tatsuki's story, whether a product of coincidence or divine insight, taps into this deep human fascination with the unseen, the sense that there is a reality beyond what our eyes can perceive. In a later, complete edition of her comic, published in 2021, Tatsuki added a new, even more terrifying vision. It was an entry pointing directly to a specific moment in our near future. July 5, 2025, at 4:18 a.m. In this dream, she described a cataclysmic event, a massive undersea earthquake south of Japan, causing the sea itself to boil and unleashing a tsunami, possibly 3 times larger than the one in 2011. The vision was so powerful, she said, that it physically warped the land, merging the coastlines of great nations into a single landmass. Yet, here is the most profound part of her vision after this great disaster. She saw the earth entering a brighter, more radiant future. A terrifying prophecy, followed by a vision of hope. This duality is the very heartbeat of so many prophetic traditions. It is a message that echoes from the pages of the Bible to the wisdom of other faiths. Great trials often precede great renewal. A storm gives way to a cleansed earth. A dark night gives way to a brilliant dawn. The question for us, as people of faith, is not whether we should live in fear of the storm, but how we should prepare our hearts for the dawn that is promised to follow. Let us journey now, from the shores of Japan to the ancient city of Jerusalem. Imagine walking its cobblestone streets, where prophets once walked and declared the word of the Lord. They too spoke of signs, of days of trouble. But their message was never one of ultimate despair. It was a call to return, to repent, to place one's trust in a God who is both just and merciful. When we hear a prophecy like Tatsuki's, it is wise not to be consumed by the details of the date or the disaster, but to hear the deeper, spiritual invitation. It is a call to examine our own lives, to strengthen our own faith, and to remember that our true security lies not in the stability of the ground beneath our feet, but in the unshakable faithfulness of our Creator. Before we dismiss such a vision as mere fantasy, it is wise to understand the physical realities of our world. To even ask if Tatsuki's vision is possible, we must journey deep beneath the ocean, to the world of tectonic plates. Think of the Earth's crust, not as a solid shell, but as a giant, cracked eggshell. Each piece is a massive plate, slowly, ceaselessly drifting upon a sea of molten rock. When these colossal plates grind against each other, collide, or slip, the world trembles. We get earthquakes, we get volcanoes, and when the seabed itself is thrust upwards, we get the terrifying power of a tsunami. The region Tatsuki's dream points to the area between Japan and the Philippines, one of the most geologically active and complex places on our planet. Let us examine the layout. The Philippines sits on its own plate, the Philippine Sea Plate. Taiwan is caught in a tectonic embrace between two great plates, the Philippine Sea and the Eurasian Plates. And Hong Kong, further away, is planted firmly on the Eurasian Plate. For these places to merge into a single landmass as her vision described, the event would have to be of an almost unimaginable scale. It would require not one, but multiple massive shifts in the Earth's crust. The seafloor would need to be ripped open, landmasses would need to be shoved together, and a rupture deep beneath the Earth would need to be triggered. It is a transformation that, scientifically speaking, would likely take millions of years, or a cataclysm on the scale of a mass extinction event. Could a massive asteroid trigger such a cataclysm? The thought is terrifying. A large asteroid slamming into the ocean between Japan and the Philippines could, in theory, cause mega tsunamis, with waves reaching over 100 meters high, taller than our tallest skyscrapers. It would be a disaster of biblical proportions. But how likely is such an event? Our scientists, who monitor the heavens, assure us that while there are many asteroids, none of the known, large ones are on a collision course with Earth in the near future. The famous scare, asteroid Apophis, was once feared to be a threat for 2029. But NASA has since confirmed it will pass us by safely. So, where does this leave us? Science tells us that an event of the scale Tatsuki described is profoundly unlikely in our lifetime. But does that mean we should dismiss the spiritual whisper behind the vision? Let us travel in our hearts to the serene, ordered gardens of Kyoto, Japan. Here, every rock, every stream, every raked pattern in the sand is a reflection of a deeper, cosmic order. The monks who tend these gardens understand that the universe is governed by laws, both physical and spiritual. They do not live in fear of nature's power, but in reverence of it. This is the perspective faith offers us. We can appreciate the science that explains our world, while also remaining open to the truth that a creator stands above those laws. The one who set the tectonic plates in motion can also still them. Let us journey to the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus once stood in a boat with his disciples as a furious storm arose. The waves crashed over the boat, and the disciples, experienced fishermen, though they were terrified. They woke Jesus, crying out, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Jesus simply stood, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." And the storm ceased, and there was complete calm. He then turned to his disciples and asked a question that echoes through the ages. Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? This story is a powerful metaphor for our lives today. The storms of the world will rage. The winds of conflict and the waves of frightening news will beat against our hearts. Our human instinct, like that of the disciples, is to panic, to focus on the storm. But the invitation from the Creator is to turn our eyes to Him, the one who has authority over every storm. He is in the boat with us. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the presence of trust in the midst of fear. It is the quiet confidence that, no matter what happens on the world stage. Our ultimate destiny is secure in the hands of a loving Creator. In Islam, one of the core tenets is tawakkul, a profound and active trust in God's plan. It is not a passive resignation, but a peaceful reliance on the divine, knowing that He is the best disposer of affairs. This is the peace that guards the heart and mind. This is the peace that allows us to look at a date like July 5th, 2025, not as a day of dread, but as a reminder. A reminder to pray. A reminder to love our families more deeply. A reminder to get our own spiritual houses in order. A prophecy, whether it comes to pass or not, can serve a divine purpose, if it causes us to turn our hearts back to the Creator. It is a wake-up call, urging us to live each day with intention, with gratitude, and with a sense of eternal perspective. Thank you for joining me on this sacred journey with Pure Mind Think. If this message of hope has resonated with your spirit, I ask you to please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this encouragement, and subscribe to our channel for more wisdom that anchors the soul. Please, share in the comments what this message means to you. How do you find peace in these troubled times? Your testimony is a light to others. Until we meet again, may you live each day, not in fear of what is to come, but in the joyful hope of who is to come.